Yeah, for the most part, there's little stuff we have to work on, but I mean, it is our first game, so, or it's just our submission game, but it's our first game to many, so it's always a learning experience. So.
Bugs, you've always been a versatile player, but especially with kind of what you lost from last year's team, how important is that to this team? I mean, do you feel like you need to take a step for this team to get over the hump?
It feels good because like we have those people that are coming in, and we have a lot of dominant positions like Nettie, and it just gives us it's harder. It's gonna make teams harder to scout us. Sorry, but it's great for us. It's helping us with the new people that have come in, like our freshmen. It's to give them a chance to play in their positions and move around, and yeah.
And then Bella, obviously, we saw, I think, 10 seconds in, Aaronette kind of got a low post feed and made a layup.
Mm-hmm.
How quickly has she gelled with this group? And, is there any learning curve there for you and for her and this team overall?
This entire team, everyone who's new and returning, we gelled extremely fast with each other. And a big part of that is just our personalities off the court. We all really do love each other, and you can tell that we're best friends. We laugh, we joke, we have a good time, and then that turns into those post feeds that lead to a basket or an and one. Like just the way that shows up on the court, it's a huge thing for us. There wasn't really much of a learning curve. This summer there was some, because just coming in and learning a new system, especially for Nettie as a senior, like that's a quick turnaround. You don't have a lot of time. And then everybody else too, they'll get a couple of years, but I'm really proud of how fast we've all come together.
Bella, it was an exhibition, but you guys are putting your body on the line, forcing charges. What does that say about this team's defensive focus?
That's how hard we've worked every day. We put a lot into our defensive energy. In practice, we know it's defense time when we hit that closeout drill. We usually will end offensive drill, get a drink, and we're like, okay, guys, time to lock in. Like, it's defense time. But Coach Tony holds us to a really high standard defensively, and you can see that out there whenever we're out on the court, and it's only going to continue to get better.
Buggs, Wise, and then Kayla getting those last few points to put you guys to 100. How cool is that?
It was amazing. I mean, like Both said, like they put in the work for this. So just to see them as new players get those points was just exciting to see, and I'm just so happy that we got to celebrate them.
What has Kayla been like? How quickly has she grown kind of since she got here?
Oh, she's grown. Like I know it's tough for her. Like being on a team with a lot of upperclassmen with a lot of experience can be very hard, especially as a freshman. We kind of tend to her a lot because we're in her position a lot, and it's just all about encouraging her to mess up, but learning from those mess ups. That's what really makes it. But like just proud of her. Like she comes in and works, and I'm just excited for her future in the next in this incoming season for her.
Bill, I'm guessing that one thing that Nikki's going to look at is the rebounds.
Yes.
And I know, sometimes it's hard because they're shooting a bunch from way far out, but is that going to be a point of emphasis?
Absolutely, it was. And, our job is to take what they give us and to put it into play whenever we're out on the court. And that's one thing that we talked about at halftime that we didn't finish out the game strong doing, and we just need to do that moving forward. I'm sure that we have a drill called war rebounding. I'm sure that will be on the practice plan this upcoming week. War, like all out war rebounding, yes. But it'll be good for us. We got to get in there and just use our bodies. I think we turned and looked at the ball and went to find the ball rather than hitting, then going to get the ball. So.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks.
How did you see what you wanted? Obviously it's just an exhibition. First game Thursday. Did you see what you wanted today?
Oh, I don't know that you ever see what you want, but you see a building block for what you want to see. I think it's you have to check this one off before you get to the next one. I don't think any coach is happy with the turnovers. I think they were in flurries, and I thought when we settled in, we ran really good stuff. We made good decisions. But when they're all that excited and we're playing really fast, it's about playing fast but not in a hurry. And I thought that two things happened. Our press, I thought, sped the game up both ways. But also, I thought we made some tired decisions. We're pressing, we're full court all the time. then we get a rebound, we get a turnover, and then we want to get a home run. And it's reminding them singles and doubles are good. So I did. I thought Buggs was a rock star all night long. I thought Bella, we used to call her fourth quarter Fontleroy. She tends to like work her way into a game and get better as the game goes along, and I thought that's what happened tonight. I thought she was where she was supposed to be. She defended, she rebounded, she took charges as usual. But I thought those two set the tone for us, and then I thought we got the ball to Nettie when we wanted to, when we slowed down and gave her a chance to get it. And I thought we got good shots. I really thought we got good shots. I thought but maybe one of Sarah Andrews' threes were really, really good threes that we think she's going to make most of the time.
How quickly has this team adapted to what Erinette brings, and has there been a learning curve on her end to have to change anything she's used to fit in with this group?
Yeah, I think that's both ways. I think she appreciates playing with really good players and good teammates, and she's playing in a totally different system. They were very Princeton driven, very successful, but Princeton driven, which we don't really run any chin actions right now. We oftentimes put them in quick hit situations, but just as far as the flow of what we do, that isn't it. But I think also this is a team that's not used to passing it into the post, and when we would, it would be like the first play of the third quarter when we hit Bella, on a cut to the rim on a post up where we're posting up mismatches at a guard position more than we're playing to a low post player. So, we've got to continue to do a good job manipulating the D. I think for her, they're going to like playing with her because people are going to congest and they're going to get open shots. But I also think we've got to get people on the move so that it's hard to help on us. And there are actions that we run that do that really, really well. No different than, I felt like every time we came out of a timeout, we executed at a pretty high level and got an easy layup or an easy look if we didn't score. But we've got to understand how to do that in the flow of the game when I don't set it up perfectly for them to get the slip like we got for Bella for a layup coming out of a timeout. And so I think that's them understanding how's the defense playing us, what's there, how do we create movement with backside player movement to get what we want on the ball side.
Nikki, do you see this as a team that could be real balanced scoring-wise? I mean, obviously, Buggs had 25, but it just had 5 in double figures, 3 that were close enough. I mean, do you see that as a strength for this team?
Yeah, I think we were there last year, and I don't think this team is any different. I think that Bella's gotten a little better, and Buggs has gotten a little better. And, I think the thing that Buggs is doing right now, and she shows this consistently in practice, is there's a strength. And it's not as if you look at her numbers in the weight room that her numbers have exploded in the weight room, but there's a understanding of kind of how to cup the ball. Like I thought she drove it through a tight space to her left. She's really good going left, and she's finishing. I know these guys weren't very big, but it's about how she puts her body and creates the angle to finish. And she's so poised under the rim. She caught a pass that was in a tough area and she gets the balance. She never rushes it. You never see her hit the bottom of the backboard because she doesn't know where she's at. She gets the balance and bounces up. And so, I think the fact that those guys have each gotten a little better in the off season, I think the fact that Jada understands our system and is coming off obviously a really good tournament run where she's got a lot of confidence. And Jana was playing really well down the stretch last year, and I think she's had a really good off season. And if you take away that flurry of 3 turnovers in a row she had, I thought she was really, really solid all night. And her pace, her energy is really good. Where she's really elevated her game is at the defensive end. She got steals being in the right spot in rotation. It's a rarity in this game that someone makes as big a leap as she's made on the defensive side of the ball. And is she always going to be the best, on-ball defender that we have? No, but her understanding of help side and where to be and when to switch and when to take charges, it's just she's at a different level defensively. And so, hopefully that keeps carrying on, because I know she was frustrated with herself in that first half. And I just, this is what these exhibition games are for, to play in front of the fans for the first time, to have that energy, excitement, all of that,
I mean, at the end, everyone was really excited for Wise and Kayla on the bench. How much did it mean to just see them put their mark on the game, too?
Yeah, Wise always smiles. Wise can turn it over and smile, make a shot and smile. It's really confusing to me at times, but she's easy to cheer for because she has that bubbly personality. She's a capable catch-and-shoot three-point shooter. I think right now it's getting her to avoid troubling situations, where she drives without a plan. So if we can just keep her calm that way, she's got really, really good energy on the defensive side of the ball when she just defends hers and not everybody's player at once. But yeah, and then Kayla's really, really skilled. Her motor's not running as fast as we want it to run right now. And she's got to learn to play at the pace of this collegiate game. But her skill set, analytically in practice, she's our best three-point shooter, and she's a finisher. Like, she literally she has a knack for finishing at the rim with different angles. She's probably got the best float game on our team, which, I don't know, that might be tallest leprechaun, but, she's got a decent float game.
Can you take from this and moving forward to the season opener on Thursday?
I just think it gets the jitters out as much as anything. I think it gave Tony another look at the press, how much we can utilize the press, how I know he'll say it's not a press unless you trap, but I think when you play and you get up and you put, you make the defense speed up at 94 feet, good and bad things happen. And it's figuring out how much we can do it and still not be too tired to execute at the offensive end, and how much we're gonna be able to handle that from a physicality perspective. But as much as anything, this is just to get these jitters out. The first game, the scouting report, the building, the feel, all of that.
Coach Buggs has always been a versatile player, but especially with what you lost last year's team, how important is that kind of for how far this team wants to go?
Yeah, I think, just her confidence. I ran a play coming out of a timeout. Like, Buggs has really improved. She spent a lot of time working on her three-point shot. She's seeing it going in practice. She needs to see it going in a game. I should have worked harder to get her a three in this game, because I think once she sees it goes through the net, like, it'll be like Wise when she made hers. It'll be like, hey, this is what I've been working on, but you need to see it go in a game to really feel confident. But oddly, when I tried to run a play for her for a three coming out of a timeout, they locked and trailed over the top, which can't be what was on the scouting report. And so she curled it off and went to a little pull-up jump shot, which she didn't make, but it was a good read by us to throw her towards the rim instead of at the arc. I really thought they'd go under and she'd be able to bounce it back and take a three. And I told her, if you don't have the three, then you have the whole side to attack. So I just think she's playing with a lot of confidence. I think the craziest thing about Buggs' game today is she went down with what looked like a really bad ankle injury on Friday and missed most of practice and was in an ice bucket, and then we weren't sure she would even play today. So she did okay.
Nikki asked the players about it, and I guess it was addressed at halftime, but the rebounding, was that an issue? I know some of it is they're taking shots from way out there and may bounce, may get some long rebounds, but they were getting some underneath too. Yeah,
we weren't very good on the boards. I thought in the first half more of it was us not securing the board. Like, most of their rebounds in the first offensive rebounds were team rebounds where we had our hand on the ball, or we tipped it, or both people tipped it. It ends up out of bounds. I wasn't very thrilled. We knew their point guard was their leading rebounder, in particular offensive rebounder. And honestly, like, I don't think our little guards are used to kids coming to the boards, and they just have to understand that there's times when they knew that was the case, and if you turn and look and she's running by you, we're in trouble. And so I just think that is absolutely going to be something we show on film and say, like, this is going to get us beat. Oddly, like, the fact that they had 3 second chance points on 22 offensive rebounds is crazy. But yeah, we have to be better in that area. I just thought there were some air balls. There were some, I mean, there certainly are plays that you can look back at and say we did everything from a position perspective, right? And then there were times where we just weren't tough enough. We just didn't go pursue the ball. And I think that's what Buggs does the best of anyone. She just goes and pursues the ball. I don't know if Buggs has boxed anyone out in her career, but there are players that are box out players and players that are go get. And, I feel like if Buggs turned around and tried to find someone to box out, it would take away from her instinct to go get the ball. And so you've got to live when occasionally she gives one up, because she gets more that way. And that's playing to her strength. And you have to know as a player, like, for instance, Kyla should be a go-get. Kayla should be a box-out kid, just based on pure bounce ability, and understanding what you have to do. And sometimes players have to be box out players and they don't end up with the rebound because you got a go-getter that goes and gets it while you got someone boxing out. And so that's why it's an important team game to team rebound.
You've mentioned kind of having this one to get the jitters out. Just how valuable is it when you have a new group coming together to have this game before the season opener?
It's really important. I think, there was a time when everybody played 2 exhibition games. Now some people are doing 2 secret scrimmages, which how secret are they? Because everyone reports the scores for these said secret scrimmages. But I think the balance of one is really good. I think there's things you get out of maybe playing an elite opponent in a closed scrimmage that you don't get out of an exhibition game. But what you get out of this is just the nerves. We had some really nervous players, just kind of starting that game and just to get out there. And it wasn't like there were 5,000 people in here, but I think they'd have been nervous in front of 500. And so, for a player like Kyla, who missed the whole second half of the season last year, and for the new players that we have, but I even think, some of our returners, it's just the lights come on and there's just a different energy that you get, and a lot of that is good, but you got to be able to kind of harness, that the jitters and the emotions. And so, I think you get that out. So as much as, the basketball wasn't always pretty, at times it was really pretty, at times it wasn't. You get the jitters out of playing in front, meaning the warm-up video and all the cool videos and the starting lineup and, all those little things they got to get out of their system. They got to show off their starting lineup, handshake, and, then it just becomes normalized. Thanks.